Maya had never run a marathon before. But 18 months ago something had changed. Her doctor had told her that her blood pressure was too high. Her stress levels were too high. Everything, it seemed, was too high. And so she had started running. She had not enjoyed it at first. The first time she had gone out, she had made it to the end of the street and come back. Her lungs had burned. Her legs had ached. She had sat on the front step and thought about giving up before she had even started. But she had not given up. She had downloaded a training plan. She had bought proper shoes. She had woken up early 3 mornings a week for 18 months and gone out in the dark, in the cold, in the rain. By the time she arrived at the starting line in London on a grey April morning, she had run over 100 miles in training. But she didn't tell anyone how nervous she was. The gun went off at 9 o'clock. Maya started running. The first 10 miles felt almost easy. The streets were lined with people. A friend had made a sign with her name on it and was waving it when she passed. She laughed out loud when she saw it. "Maya, you can do it." She had not expected to laugh. By mile 15 the easy feeling had gone. Her legs were heavier now. She had drunk water at every station, but her mouth was dry. She had been running for 2.5 hours. She thought about the training runs she had done in November, in the dark, when she had wanted to stop, but had not stopped. She had done this before. Not the distance, but the feeling. Mile 18 was the hardest mile she had ever run. It was not even close. Everything hurt. The people around her were quieter now. Everyone was suffering in their own way. She passed a woman who had sat down on the curb. She passed a man who was clutching his knee. She wanted to sit down. She wanted to stop. She thought about everything she had given up to be here. The early mornings. The long Sunday runs when she had missed birthday parties and lie-ins and lazy breakfasts. She did not stop. By mile 22 she had found something she had not known was there, a quietness, a stillness inside the effort. She had heard runners talk about this and had not believed them, but it was real. Her body had stopped arguing with her. It had accepted what was happening, and was simply getting on with it. Mile 25. 1 mile left. She had run 25 miles. She had never run 25 miles. She had never imagined she could. She turned the final corner and saw the finish line ahead of her. The crowd was loud. The noise hit her like a wall. She began to cry. She had not thought she would cry, but something that had been held tight inside her for a very long time had come loose, and now she was crying and running. And it did not matter at all. She crossed the finish line in 4 hours and 17 minutes. She crossed the finish line in 4 hours and 17 minutes. Someone put a medal around her neck. Someone gave her a foil blanket. She stood in the middle of all the noise and the people and the finishing area, and she thought about the woman who had sat on her front step 18 months ago, unable to run to the end of the street. She had come a long way since then. We use the past perfect to talk about something that happened before the main events of a story. We form it with had and a past participle. She had never run a marathon. By the time she reached mile 20, she had already been running for 3 hours. In Maya's story, the past perfect appears constantly because the whole story is built on what came before, the training, the early mornings, the sacrifices. Without the past perfect, we cannot tell that part of the story. Pause the video and think about these questions. Ready? Here are the answers.